For international arrivals and flight crew, Dan Conifer reports.
Seeing children on the ice smiling and having a blast is absolutely invigorating. Seeing it as it is right now, it's really sad.
Former Olympian Liz Kane runs a winter ice rink at Sydney's Bondi Beach. For a second year running, she's been shut down by COVID.
Everyone's suffering. It doesn't matter really what business that we all have, we're all in the same boat. It's a really hard hit for us emotionally, mentally, for everybody. It's a really difficult situation.
Liz estimates losses of about $100,000. Those she hoped would flock to her attraction are now attracted by Bondi Beach's pop-up testing clinic.
I think that everybody in Sydney probably is pretty angry about this situation, and that it's not monitored and taken care of in a much better way.
This COVID wave began in Bondi, home to the man authorities believe is patient zero. The eastern beaches faced restrictions first, but the Delta COVID-19 variant quickly evaded the local lockdown.
From 6 p.m. today, all of Greater Sydney, the Blue Mountains, the Central Coast and Wollongong will go into a lockdown.
To stop people spreading the virus, the government stopped about 6 million people from spreading throughout the city. High above the city streets, one COVID patient is isolating.
Well, I'm a few days into COVID isolation and now I'm starting to feel the effects.
The state's Agriculture Minister, Adam Marshall.
Just having no energy whatsoever, even just standing up for a period of time can be quite tiring, and undertaking menial tasks quite exhausting.
He caught the virus while dining with 3 other state MPs who had each received their first dose of COVID-19 vaccine. Adam Marshall isn't yet eligible for a jab and says the Commonwealth's vaccine rollout is incredibly slow.
That is quite disappointing from my perspective, because that should be the primary focus and responsibility, particularly of the Commonwealth Government, is to get Australians vaccinated, get jabs in arms as quickly as possible.
Authorities suspect the virus entered Australia with an international flight crew who infected the limousine driver, taking them to hotel quarantine. Police launched an investigation that lasted almost 2 weeks, but they've announced they won't be charging the driver.
He was found to be doing the right thing, and that's the reason why he was exonerated.
Rita Corey from the state's Hire Car Association has spoken to the driver and says he's known for being COVID safe.
He has confirmed to me that he was wearing a mask, in addition to sanitising his vehicle as required.
Rita Corey says she's concerned with the way this driver has been portrayed.
You can't legislate for stupidity.
He is neither stupid, nor a mongrel, nor doing anything wrong or objecting to the vaccine on careless grounds. He has medical concerns that he is working through with his medical team. I've been very alarmed and perplexed as to why this driver was being vilified.
On Friday, the government was forced to improve its own public health order that governs the drivers of international flight crew. The Health Minister, Brad Hazzard, made it law that drivers need to wear masks, have received at least 1 dose of COVID vaccine and comply with health guidelines.
We have now put in very hard black and white law that for even those who don't want to comply with the common sense guidelines and the guidelines that were laid down in black and white by the police, it's there now and it carries sanctions.
Just to clarify, under the letter of the law in the public health order as it stood before Friday, this driver didn't need to wear a mask, is that correct?
There's an abundant caution. There are now those orders in place.
I think the way that governments are dealing with COVID is changing all the time as we learn more about COVID and about what's safe and what's not safe.
It's our hotel quarantine system that is constantly bringing the virus back into the country. It's now, since November, every 7 to 8 days we have a breach in quarantine.
And that has to happen across the nation.
Mike Toole is one of Australia's most experienced epidemiologists. He says the federal government's recent support for purpose-built quarantine facilities is overdue and says facilities need to be built fast.
We can't really continue at this rate of hotel quarantine leaks. It's going to disrupt our lives indefinitely. But let's get on with the job and let's identify such a facility in the state that's taking most return travellers, and that is New South Wales.
I got on the phone to all my staff. I said, don't leave home, stay at home. I'll explain things later. We're shutting the building down. We have a COVID positive.
Meg Greenidge's beauty clinic is inside the Joe Bailey hairdressing